Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/audio.
Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Margot Donohue and Sonia Mansfield, talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy.
Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Margot Donohue, and my cohort in creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, my amazing friend.
Hello, my amazing friend. We are the podcast that talks about creeps from the past to the present. This is the first episode of the year of our Lord 2025, when Trump will be back in office, even though his conviction was recently upheld. Okay, we're not in charge of the world, obviously.
Obviously. Breaking news, everyone. Rich white man commits crime, suffers no consequences.
And the world keeps turning on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Will the circle be unbroken? Probably not.
Probably not.
But we're here to make you laugh along the way.
Yes.
And this episode, we are talking about his pick for the Attorney General's office, which sadly didn't go through.
No, it lasted about one Scaramucci, right? Like he lasted like 7 days, I think, before he had to drop out because people are like, LOL. Like, no.
So we're updating an episode we did a couple of years ago. We've got some more information to give you, but we're always looking for ideas for creeps and also for non-creeps. So there's lots of places you can reach out to us. We do have a basic Facebook page, but we never really check it. It's just where people go to complain about our language. This is your warning. We use salty language in this program.
Shit, fuck, damn.
We're much more interactive in our private Facebook group. So if you belong to Facebook, type in What a Creep podcast group, and you have to ask to join, and you have to promise not to be an asshole, and then you can hang out with us there. We'd really appreciate it. We're on Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky at What a Creep Podcast. And we have an old-timey email, whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. And if you would like some stickers, send us your address via that email, and we will drop them in the mail for you.
Yes,
Sonia.
she will.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Do you want to tell them about the website?
Yeah, go to whatacreeppodcast.com, and it's everything you want to know about the podcast, but we're afraid to ask. We have links to all of our past episodes, and in each of those posts are show notes because we source everything we do. We're not making any of this stuff up. So if you're looking for a deeper dive on any of our creeps, fabulous place to start. Do that. What else? We have a link to our merch shop where you could get a t-shirt that says maybe next year. It never goes out of style. Never. We can testify the shirts are very comfy, but there's also like notebooks and
tote bags, pillows
and phone cases and whatever strikes your fancy. Do all that. There's also a link to our Patreon. You want to tell them about that, Margot?
Yes, Patreon. We have our first 9 seasons on our Patreon wall for people who pay for that, who subscribe for that. And I want to thank recent subscribers, Cynthia, Heather, Stacy, Alice, and Melody for all joining our Patreon page.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that. We also put out 2 bonus episodes a month. And in those episodes, they are videos. So you get to see our pusses. You get to see us.
Pusses.
Yep. And we just kind of shoot the shit, talk about things that are happening in the news, that kind of stuff. It's a little more loosey-goosey, and we have a lot of fun with that. So all the people that sign up there, thank you so much. You can also sign up for free. Occasionally, we post things for free on there on Patreon. Yeah. All right, Sonia, let's talk a little bit about Matt Gaetz and why we're revisiting this episode.
Yeah, let's do that. So we did this episode 2 years ago. Recently, an ethics report was released. This is actually really delicious. So he was nominated for Attorney General by Predator Trump because Apparently, Trump has a good sense of humor. Everyone fucking hates Matt Gaetz. They hate him. He's like Ted Cruz of the House. Like, everyone hates Matt Gaetz. So he nominates him. Matt Gaetz resigns from the House. He just won re-election. He resigns because he's going to be attorney general. LOL. Like 7 days later, he's not going to be attorney general. And it turns out they had this whole ethics report, and then they voted to release it, even though he's not in the House anymore. That's how much they fucking hate him. Like, he's not even in the House anymore. And they released this ethics report. Pretty much everything in this report we covered 2 years ago. Like, there's nothing new in the report, which means for 2 years, this guy has been walking around with all these crimes that he's committed. Because again, breaking news, rich white guy commits crimes, suffers no consequences. So he's resigned from the House. He is now hosting like a talk show on a network that totally is a real thing and exists. And it's called OWN. Look it up. It's OWN. It's OANN. One America News Network. I don't know what One America he's talking about, but it ain't my America. That's for sure.
And he got a new facelift, I see.
Yeah, and we were talking about this off mic. When people join the MAGA movement, mainly the women, go through this like makeover where they like get fillers and hair extensions, and they wear like really crazy makeup and things like that. And Matt Gaetz is no different. He has gone through the makeover. Looking forward to JD Vance's makeover in the new year. I'm sure it'll happen.
I almost forgot about that guy.
It's easy too, because
nobody's seen him.
Is he?
Yeah.
Like, as far as I know, Elon Musk is our new president, and Trump is maybe the vice president. And I don't know where Vance is. He's fucking couches or something. I don't know what he's doing. Like,
and apparently
he's
Trump
busy.
President. Excuse me. It's easier to say Predator Trump.
Yeah.
He is upset because the flags will be half-mast due to the death of Jimmy Carter during his inauguration. Sorry. Someone better than you.
Also, his like inauguration is happening Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, like that holiday too. So it's like you're like the third or fourth most important thing that's happening that weekend. Fuckface. Like, we don't care. No one's gonna watch that. Who's gonna watch that? Not me.
Not me.
Not me. He's holding one of his little rallies over the weekend, that weekend too, to, try to lure people in to go have fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like a drag. Did you see the footage of them at the Mar-a-Lago New Year's Eve party?
Them dancing? Him and Elon dancing?
Yeah. So bad.
We were just saying this off the air. We're in for a next tough 4 years coming up. We're gonna be busy.
We're gonna be super busy.
We'll be super busy. So we will be here calling out the creeps.
Yeah,
for all of y'all. Except for those of you that like Joe Francis and love to leave us like 2-star reviews because
oh my God, we got a 2-star review. I love that this person gave us 2 stars, so not 1.
Yeah.
Like, thanks. Yeah, and called us prudes and that we don't think women have any agency. I was like, yeah, you don't listen to the show.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're always shitting on women here. Like, okay. So we do have some news sources for this episode. If you want to check out the ethics report, you can go to Vox, and they have a whole Matt Gaetz ethics report explained. I included some links to the New York Times where you can read the report. And basically they discovered, surprise, again, we talked about this 2 years ago, that he was paying people for sex. He was including a child, a 17-year-old girl, a child. This is illegal in every state. I don't know why this isn't happening. He paid to bring her over state lines. That's called sex trafficking. Like, he's done these things. He's also, paid for drugs and all these things that are also illegal, and he's not suffering any consequences. It would be up to Florida, I think, to press some charges here. In Florida, they don't give a fuck.
Florida's gonna Florida.
Yeah, the DOJ could do something, but considering that he's like a Trumpy guy, like I doubt they're going to do anything. And I'm like, could anyone else do anything? I don't know.
I mean, somebody could sue him, in civil court.
Yeah.
That's about it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he breaks the law again and gets caught in another state.
Maybe he will. Maybe. So that's all happening. But if you want to dig deeper on the ethics report, I've included some links in the show notes. But everything else in the episode stands. Like, it's the same, which is bananas to me.
But it's
bananas.
It's also really, really funny. This is one of Sonia's best scripts that she put together. She has some real solid jokes in this episode that y'all will enjoy.
I don't like to toot my own horn, but I went back and read it and I was all, good work, 2022, Sonia. Like, some solid shit in that script. I was like, mwah, so funny. So
patting me on the back.
Yeah, I don't do that for myself very often, but he's just funny looking more than most, as they say in Fargo.
All right, everyone. So we're going to be replaying that episode right now for you, Matt Gaetz. It's kind of evergreen, really. I mean, like we said, everything turned out to be true and everything turned out to be not to matter so much. But he's not the attorney general. We can say that.
Yes, exactly. And just remember that, like, there are all these nominees that Trump is going to put up. They have to be confirmed. So don't just like scream into the void right now. Mm-hmm. Call your representatives when it's time. These are the things we can control, right?
Right.
Like, when they are up, you make your calls, write your letters, send your emails, like, do the things. This is all we can do. And then the rest of the time, we just have to link up arms and take care of each other, at least for 2 more years until the midterms.
Well, on that note, Sonia, on that beautiful note, we also want to say Happy New Year to everybody. It's a new quarter century. Let's just hope. Let's keep going forward. We're not going back.
Nope.
We're going to keep going forward. We'll be back with you next week with a new episode. Also next week with a new episode of Dorking Out, where we dork out about movies. It's that holiday time. It just sort of snuck up on us, and I got the flu.
Need a little break.
And yeah, we needed a little bit of a break, but we'll be back in action. Take care of yourselves. Be good. Be kind. Don't be a creep.
Be a creep. Yeah, we're not getting anything for free here. Is that everything? Are we ready to talk about this fucking creep?
Yeah, let's get to the creep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we are going to be talking about Matt Gaetz. He sucks. So here's some trigger warnings for you all. Sexism, racism, fatphobia, gaslighting, sex trafficking, and look shaming by me, because Matt Gaetz is gross and ugly. So prepare yourself. We don't normally like to look shame, but it's kind of his jam, so I feel like it's appropriate to do it back, and I'm not above getting in the dirt. So, sources for this episode: Business Insider, CNN, The Daily Beast, Miami New Times, Mother Jones, The New York Times, Orlando Sentinel, Politico, Matt Gaetz' own Twitter. It's a shit show, by the way, on his Twitter. It's fucking gross. It's gross. Bleh. Vox, The Washington Post, and of course, Wikipedia. Always Wikipedia. So, Matt Gaetz is a shitty human being who's also a United States representative for the 1st Congressional District of Florida, when he's not kissing disgraced former President Donald Trump's ass and sending garbage tweets. This sentient can of Axe body spray is voting against laws fighting sex trafficking while being investigated for sex trafficking. So let's start at the beginning. Oh, shit. He's a sentient
She's on fire, y'all.
He's a sentient can of Axe body spray. The really stinky kind. Matthew Lewis Gaetz II was born May 7th, 1982 in Hollywood, Florida, to Victoria and Don Gaetz. Politics runs in the family. Don was a member of the Florida State Senate from 2006 to 2016, and he was Senate president from 2012 to 2014
Wait,
in Florida.
sorry, what year was he born?
82.
So he's
an
40?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. His grandfather, Stanley Jerry Gaetz, was the mayor of Rugby, North Dakota, and he was a candidate for lieutenant governor of North Dakota. I don't know. That doesn't sound very hard to me. I think there's like 10 people in North Dakota, so whatever. I'm kidding. I'm sure there's a lot of nice people in North Dakota. So after graduating from William and Mary Law School, which is a real law school, by the way, it sounded made up to me, but it is like a real thing. Matt briefly worked in a private practice before running for Florida state representative. And I just want to note that ignorant fucks like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, these willfully ignorant people, I wonder sometimes, do they run for public office because no normal, well-functioning organization would have them? Like, it's like they have to run for public office because they're not equipped to be in a normal job. Like,
I think they want to be on TV. I think
that's what it's.
But they don't have talent.
Yeah, they've all been turned down for The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. They can't even get on Fuckboy Island. Like, so they have to, like, our country, sadly, like, our government is not a well-functioning organization. Therefore, idiots like these can, like, get in and get, they get fucking free healthcare and salary. Fuck these people. Anyway, Matt Gaetz sucks. So in 2008, Matt, who looks like a rejected villain from Revenge of the Nerds, was arrested for drunk driving. He was driving back from a nightclub in Florida where I'm sure he got no bitches, just saying. He declined field sobriety tests. He refused to take a breathalyzer. He was arrested. Because he's a lawyer. He was arrested. Although Florida's law requires a year suspension when a driver refuses a breathalyzer test, his was less than a year long. Surprise. The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles declared that there was no evidence that Gaetz refused a breathalyzer test, even though the arresting officer and his own lawyer documented that he refused to take a breathalyzer test, and the charges were dismissed. I'm pretty sure this was a case of, do you know who my dad is? 2 years later, Matt, who somehow manages to look like Beavis and Butthead at the same time, served in the Florida House of Representatives from 2010 to 2016. It should be noted, he ran unopposed.
I didn't know that.
I feel very bad for the people of Florida. It is seriously no wonder y'all started snorting bath salts. Like, you must feel so helpless when these are your fucking choices.
And by the way, Florida's filled with amazing people, great people.
It is.
It is a beautiful state.
Yes. Like, we all joke about, like,
Florida man.
With Florida man, or like, the gif of Bugs Bunny, like sawing Florida off and it floats away. And, we do that with Texas too. There's awesome people in these states. Everything is so gerrymandered that, like, they can't elect good people. Like, they really try. So I made a joke about bath salts. I don't really mean it. It's jokes, people. So
these are the jokes, folks.
These are the jokes. In 2012, Matt Gaetz defended Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law because, of course, he did. In case you're wondering, there was a very high-profile murder in which George Zimmerman, who we are 100% going to do an episode on because he is the fucking worst, killed a child because he was black, basically, and he got away with it. So if you're wondering, Matt Gaetz is a big fan of the Stand Your Ground law. He even authored legislation that allows defendants who successfully use the Stand Your Ground defense during trial to be able to expunge relevant information from their criminal records. The Stand Your Ground law, by the way, it only works for white people. So, like, when black people, like a woman stood her ground, shot, I believe, an abusive husband or boyfriend, she went to jail.
Yeah. Trayvon Martin was 17.
Yeah. Child. Underage. There you go.
Yeah. And he was wearing a hoodie, though, Sonia.
Yeah. Well, hoodies are real scary.
Geraldo Rivera said that. Another piece of shit we'll cover one day.
Yeah, we definitely will. So when he was in the Florida state legislature, he also voted against a bill against revenge porn.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. And here's probably why. Because Gaetz loves to show nude photos of women that he claims he's had sex with to anyone near him. This is a documented thing. He did it even on the House floor, in the House of Representatives, on the House floor, showing fucking other representatives naked pictures of women that he's supposedly had sex with.
Which should be against the rules, should it not? Of all places.
It's fucking sexual harassment for one thing.
It is.
It's also, he's fucking gross. He's gross. So, while he was in the state legislature, Gaetz and some of the other Florida lawmakers created a super fun game by which they would score points by hooking up and ranking other females in the legislature or lobbyists. They would do it for points, and they would target interns, staffers, and other female colleagues in the state house.
Wait a minute. Hooking up?
Yes. And they would get extra points if they got a virgin.
How does one know this for a fact? I mean, that they're a virgin. It's the honor system?
I guess so. And honor against these fucking dirtbags. It's an honor amongst dirtbags, I guess. It's gross. And there was... and
they're all anti-choice, right? Remember, they're all anti-choice.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, they're horrible. Another acquaintance of Matt Gaetz told a story about how they were at a wedding and he was showing him dirty photos of women on his phone that he supposedly had sex with. He's just one of those, look at me, I totally get bitches, man. Look how many bitches I get, with all of his naked photos on his phone. It's just, I can't believe people fucking vote for this guy or listen to anything he says. But once again, super gerrymandered district. While in the state legislature, like I said, ran unopposed. He has actual opponents now, but once again, super gerrymandered districts. So it's real tough. So in 2016, he was elected to the House of Representatives. He's been reelected in 2018 and in 2020. One of his first things he did when he got elected to the House of Representatives was propose legislation to abolish the Environmental Protection Agency.
Started by Nixon, by the way, of all people.
Yes,
Nixon.
Right? Yes. He claimed that it hurts small businesses because they have to pay things to be in compliance with the EPA. And I'm like, yes, protecting the environment's too costly. Fuck it. Let's just let the whole planet burn because some people might have to pay a little bit of money to be in compliance. Seriously, fuck these people. So
when it's the hottest year ever, by the way, I'm roasting in my apartment.
Yes.
I sleep on my couch every night because I'm too fucking hot anywhere else.
So in January 2018, Gaetz, who claims he's not a Nazi, by the way, invited an alt-right Holocaust denier, Charles C. Johnson, to attend Donald Trump's State of the Union address. Johnson previously raised money for a neo-Nazi website called the Daily Stormer, and he is a legit fucking Nazi. So I did not see that coming. Get it? In May 2018, Gaetz was one of 18 House Republicans who voted to nominate Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Because he's fucking stupid. In his defense, Matt probably thought they said pizza prize. He is very stupid. He probably thought they were getting pizza.
Or peace, Piece, because it's a piece of work.
Yes.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. In October 2018, Gaetz falsely claimed that George Soros paid for a caravan of migrants from Central America to the United States and that illegal immigrants were sucking us dry. Yes. This is not a thing, by the way. This is code. Whenever they say George Soros, this is code for Jews. Like, Jews are paying for a caravan of migrants and that illegal immigrants are sucking us dry.
And
Matt knows
his code, too, for
Yes.
brown people, for
Yes.
any Latino people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matt knows a lot about sucking things dry. Just looking at a photo of him makes me drier than Death Valley. On February 26th, 2019, the night before Michael Cohen was supposed to testify in front of the Senate, in front of the House Oversight Committee. Michael Cohen, by the way, was Trump's former personal attorney. He's a fucking shitbag too, for sure. But we decided we were going to pretend that Michael Cohen was a hero for like testifying against Trump. The night before, Gaetz tweeted to Cohen and was just like, does your wife know that you've had multiple affairs? She's probably going to be unfaithful to you while you're in prison. It's just real shitty shit like that. And then other members of Congress took that as this was an attempt by Gaetz to intimidate the witness. I think Matt Gaetz just wants to fuck Michael Cohen's wife. He's like, I'm going to hit your wife. I'm going to hit that while you're in prison. But Matt Gaetz loves to
Mm-hmm.
storm into meetings where he's not invited and try to intimidate people.
Mm-hmm. He's really tall, right? He's like,
no, here's the thing. He's 5'7". Looked it up. Matt Gaetz, who is only 5'7" tall.
really?
Yes, but would totally, he lies on his dating profile and says he's 5'11". Sure. He says he's 5'11" for sure, but he's 5'7". It's like little. By the way, no disrespect to our short kings, but Matt Gaetz has definite short man complex. He loves to storm his way into meetings and try to intimidate people. He did it during the Michael Cohen testimony. He did it again when some FBI were testifying in front. Oh, I'm sorry. A Pentagon official was testifying in front of a committee too that Matt Gaetz was not invited to, and he just shows up and he's just like, "Well, it's important. I need to be there." And it's like, fuck off.
I got pictures to show these people.
I need to show everyone these naked pictures of bitches that I totally get. Look at all these bitches that I get.
Points for this.
I got points. This one was a virgin. Fuck Matt Gaetz. So after the 2020 State of the Union address, there was this thing where Nancy Pelosi took Trump's speech and ripped it up. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It was super famous. So Matt Gaetz filed an ethics complaint against her. He claimed that she broke the law by ripping up her copy of the speech. The only thing Matt Gaetz has ripped was a gross fart that smelled like failure. In early March 2020, as COVID was surging and people were dying, Matt wore a gas mask during a House debate on funds to combat COVID.
Yeah.
Personally,
class act.
Yeah, I wish he would wear it all the time because it hides his hideous face. He does shit like this because he loves media attention. He wants to be on TV.
He's a stunt queen.
Yes, he wants to be on Fox News. He wants to be on fucking Newsmax, which apparently is a thing that exists. Those networks would probably love to have him on more often, but they can only have him on after 10 p.m. because he frightens children. In June 2020, Matt tried to tell his fellow representatives that he's not racist because he had been living with a 19-year-old immigrant from Cuba named Nestor Galaban.
I'm sorry, Nestor.
Yeah, and he's been living with Nestor since Nestor was 12, and said that Nestor was his son.
Nestor, poor bastard.
Poor Nestor.
I mean, first of all, is Nestor really 30? Was he really 12 when he stayed with him? This whole Nestor story.
Also, the whole thing, by the way, spoiler alert, Nestor is not his son.
No.
It's not. No.
No. No.
So this was all during this all came out during a House debate where I think it was Cedric Richmond, one of the other representatives who is African American, was saying that a lot of his white colleagues don't know what it's like to raise children of color in this country where they are not safe from like the police and stuff like that. And and then Matt Gaetz was like, "How dare you assume that I don't know what it's like to raise a child? I have a Cuban son." And everyone was like, "What the fuck?
What are you talking about?"
He doesn't have a Cuban son. Matt Gaetz had a girlfriend who had a younger brother that he felt protective of or helped take care of or whatever. He's not his son, by the way. No. And then he proceeded to parade Nestor around to all the things and was like, "See, I'm not racist. I have this boy that's living with me." And it just, if it seems suspicious, it's because it is suspicious because Matt Gaetz looks like the human equivalent of a child molester van. That is why.
He is an unmarked white van.
Yes. Yes. He legit would try to lure you into his van with candy.
I'm sorry. That whole thing with Nestor.
The whole thing. Poor Nestor.
Jesus Christ.
Nestor has said, because by the way,
free Nestor.
Free Nestor. Poor Nestor. Nestor said, because Matt Gaetz never mentioned this before. It was never a thing before. And then all of a sudden it was a thing. Nestor said it was to protect his privacy because he was a child. And I'm like, maybe that's true. But it's very suspicious because, like we said, be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. So after that comes out, in which everyone was like, "Sure, Jan. Sure, he's your son." Matt Gaetz announces his engagement to his girlfriend, and this is her real name, Ginger Lucky.
Sorry.
Look, I know that sounds like a stripper name.
It's not.
I'm sorry. It's a real name. She's the sister of Oculus VR founder and major Republican donor Palmer Luckey. And Matt and Ginger got married in August 2021. More like Ginger Unlucky. Am I right?
Hey-o.
Hey-o. Ginger's sister, Roxanne, not a fan. Not a fan of Matt. She's on TikTok. She refers to Matt as a pedophile, a gaslighting creep, and claims that he tried to set her up with one of his 40-year-old friends when she was just 19.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah. And when she called him out about it at Thanksgiving that year, he yelled at her and her mother. Sounds like a cool dude.
Oh, awesome.
Nice catch, Ginger.
Free Ginger. Free
Seriously.
Nestor. Free Ginger.
Free Ginger. When he's not being a gaslighting creep, Matt loves to talk about how awesome guns are and the people that use them. It goes without saying that Matt has an A+ from the NRA, probably the only A+ he's ever gotten in his life. Also, Matt has never been shot because even bullets don't want to touch him. On August 26, 2020, Matt tweeted out about how the mob, this is when he talks about the mob, he's talking about Black Lives Matter protesters. The mob wants to destroy America. We need patriots who will defend her. And he's talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. And in case you don't know who Kyle Rittenhouse is, we will definitely be doing an episode on him. He was a 17-year-old who crossed state lines. He went from Illinois to Wisconsin and shot and killed 2 people during a Black Lives Matter protest. He injured someone else and then claimed
someone else.
Yes. And he claimed self-defense. Dude traveled over state lines.
He got into the protest.
Yeah.
You could say he wound up maybe defending himself, but he put his ass into danger and went there looking to shoot somebody.
Yes. Yes.
He went there and his mother brought him the fucking gun. This is the country we live in, by the way, for those that live overseas. Half of y'all are overseas.
This would be like me, showing up somewhere with a gun and pointing it at people. And then when they, defend themselves, I shoot them and say it was self-defense.
Right. It's exactly what that is.
This is exactly what it is.
It's an intense situation he deliberately went into that he had no business being in.
No, it's fucked up. It is fucked up. And he was acquitted because he's white And our legal system is racist.
And the judge was fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a total... Ugh.
He's on our list.
Yeah.
So after he was acquitted, Gaetz offered Rittenhouse a congressional internship, which I believe Rittenhouse declined because he's a virgin and he knows he's worth a lot of points. That's my guess. And he didn't want to tempt Matt Gaetz into doing something he might regret.
He showed up with the little name tag that said Nestor 2.
Yes. Gaetz is one of the biggest promoters of Trump's big lie that the 2020 election was stolen from Trump. It's so fucking stupid and embarrassing. 10 Republicans voted to impeach Trump. And Gaetz personally took up the task of trying to kick out the House GOP conference chair, Liz Cheney. By the way, she's a garbage person, too.
She's not great.
You know, so we're all trying to pretend like she's a hero right now because she's on the January 6th committee. She fucking sucks, too. Yeah. She just happens to be on the right side of history on this issue.
This summer. This year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So he went to Wyoming to like
Queen.
Yeah, to like, you know, for rallies against her, you know, stuff like that. I heard that while Gaetz was there, Jackson Hole, Wyoming completely closed down because no hole wants him. The day after a pro-Trump mob attacked the Capitol on January 6th, Gaetz lied and said that it was Antifa.
Sure.
You know, which, by the way, I love that they're calling like people... The whole like Antifa, like anti-fascist. I'm like, that's not the burn you think it is. Like, oh no, we're anti-fascist? How dare you? Like, fuck off. So he says that there was all this evidence from a facial recognition company that showed that people who breached the Capitol were not Trump supporters, but they were like Black Lives Matter people.
By the way, people who were hashtagging themselves as Trump supporters in the fucking Capitol.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's bullshit. And if it's true that facial recognition software was used, I'm going to assume that it also self-destructed after it was shown a photo of Matt Gaetz. A few months later, Gaetz was one of 21 House Republicans to vote against a resolution to give the Congressional Gold Medal to the police officers who defended the Capitol on January 6th because he fucking sucks, right? Like, he's just the biggest fucking creep. So let's get to like one of the big things that's like super creepy about Matt Gaetz. So in late 2020, the Department of Justice launches an investigation into Gaetz. So in 2018, he would have been 36 at the time. They are saying that he had sex with a 17-year-old girl, which would be statutory rape, FYI. And paid for her to travel over state lines. That is sex trafficking. Gaetz's buddy, Joel Greenberg, he was a tax collector for, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Seminole County?
Seminole.
Is that Seminole?
I think so.
Sure. Okay. Joel Greenberg, his thing was like he loved to hook up creeps like Gaetz and other Florida men in politics with young women for sex.
So he's kind of like Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. So some of these women were in fact children. They are under the age of 18. The girls and women would accept payments in return. Some of them were recruited through a website called Seeking Arrangement, which connects young women with wealthy men. I wish I was younger. I would fucking sign up. I'd sign up, but I'm too old.
A sugar daddy. But they'd be like 100.
Yeah. So Gaetz and Greenberg actually have a lot in common. They're both like sons of multimillionaires. They're both super privileged pricks. And they're fucking racist. So during his term as a county tax collector, Greenberg would share anti-Muslim social media posts. He allowed his employees to openly carry guns in the office.
Great.
What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong with that? And he would use his tax collector badge to pull over speeders.
Oh, awesome.
He wants to pretend to be a cop.
Like Harvey Keitel movie?
Yes. He tried to use his position to get out of a ticket, and he would give contracts and positions to his
Don't you know
close
who I
friends.
am? I'm the guy that takes your money.
That's right, I'm a tax collector. And they're like, fuck off.
Charging you twice, the asshole.
Yeah. So he faced a challenger for his tax collector role in 2020, and Greenberg created fake accounts to smear his rival. Now, the rival was a teacher, so he started posting all this anonymous stuff that the teacher was having sex with his students. And
Awesome.
yeah, super cool. Greenberg has also been charged with stalking in the past, and that's what led to his resignation from tax collector's office. Cool friends Matt has.
Wow.
Really. Yeah, but I guess beggars can't be choosers, right? He didn't. Yeah. Greenberg has already been indicted on multiple charges, including embezzling money from his office, which he used to invest in cryptocurrency. Fucking douchebag. Bribing a small business administration official to get pandemic relief under false pretenses, and abusing his office to obtain personal information and produce fake IDs for sex trafficking of a child. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So Greenberg is actually cooperating with investigators, and Matt Gaetz should be very nervous.
He should be shitting his pants.
Yeah. And Greenberg's lawyer has said as such, like, Gaetz should be scared. Gaetz says that he has, quote, paid for flights, for hotel rooms, for women he's, quote, dated, because he is, and this is so gross, he's generous as a partner. 100% guarantee that Matt Gaetz is not generous as a partner.
No.
He's
I can't even make that joke.
I'm like, I can't
say something and I'm not gonna. Ugh.
he just fucking jackhammers women. He's not generous. I can't even go on with that anyway. He's just not generous. He has denied that he's paid anyone for sex. He insists he didn't sleep with anyone underage. He says the Justice Department is trying to criminalize my sexual conduct. I'm like, your sexual conduct probably includes paying underage girls for sex. So, yeah, they're right, too. Gaetz and Greenberg have instructed women to meet with them at certain places, certain times, and would tell them the amount of money they were willing to pay. And sometimes they made the payments through the Cash App and Apple Pay. They're so stupid. So one time, Gaetz paid $900 to Greenberg, and then Greenberg sent that money to. And by the way, one of the transactions actually had a memo that, in the memo, the quote was like, "Hit up, like, name of the young woman." Like, he fucking admits it, like, in the fucking memos, in the. Oh my, they're so dumb. He can't even do crime good. He's so dumb. Greenberg then forwards those payment on to women, and in the memos, it's like tuition and school. And it's like, I'm surprised they didn't use like an eggplant emoji. Like, they're so stupid. The women told their friends these were payments for sex because that's what they were.
That guy. I mean,
seriously, I don't know.
because it's a lot of bullshit to buy. I mean, I
is.
don't want to. We're not supposed to shame people buying someone's bullshit. He sounds very manipulative.
Yes, he 100% is. And he is a lawyer. So I'm sure he is very good at like arguing his case to people.
Right.
And
You're right.
he's just gross. He's real gross. So the Justice Department is currently investigating Gaetz.
And he's still working at the government every day.
And yes, by the way, not in jail. The shit's been going on for 2 years. 2 years they've been investigating him. They are also looking into whether he asked women to recruit others for sex.
Of course he did.
I'm sure he did. And they are looking to see if he used campaign money in his...
Of course he did.
Of course he did. And
For
it's a
anything.
big...
Come on.
Yes, it's a big... Not only is it a big deal if we're talking about underage girls, but
Girls,
it's also...
just girls.
It's also illegal, like if he was paying for sex and bringing them over state lines. That is also a big deal. It is also a big deal if drugs are involved. So if he's like bringing women over state lines, paying them for sex, and doing drugs with them, this is a big deal. I assume there's drugs involved because I don't know how else these women could stand to have sex with Matt Gaetz. I assume that they're fucking high. They must be.
Yeah.
So it's happening. So in a move that a totally innocent guy does, Gaetz asked Trump for a blanket pardon for himself and some other like congressional people for any crimes they may have committed.
Which is
just,
what a totally innocent person does.
Totally. Yeah. He didn't get one. One former Trump staffer told the Business Insider that he's the meanest person in politics. That's saying something because we did an episode on Ted Cruz.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and that another Trump aide told Business Insider, good riddance. Like, these are people who work for Trump. They work for one of the worst, and they're like, Matt Gaetz sucks.
Wow.
And by the way, just this week, Matt Gaetz voted against support for sex trafficking victims. I wonder why.
He's one of the few, right? He's like the only one.
Yes.
There's like,
Yeah. Greenberg is actually scheduled to be sentenced in August. So shit's about to get real.
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz is like a Ted Cruz in that he wants to be Trump, right? He thinks he can lead the country and just get to be president by having shitty tweets. You know, so like Matt Gaetz, who has a hairline like gas prices, they're both receding, would like everyone to know his thoughts about women's appearances. He's often tweeting shit about women, being real shitty. So after the Supreme Court decision about Roe v. Wade was leaked, he tweeted, how many women rally against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials who sadly return from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches. Don't threaten me with a good time, you fucking creep. That sounds delightful. Like, I'm super curious as a man who's currently under investigation for having sex with underage girls, aka children. What is overeducated to him? Are you talking about adult women who graduated from high school? Is that what he means by overeducated? He hates women.
Yes.
Just this week, he spoke to a crowd of 5,000 young conservatives in Tampa. Said, have you watched these pro-abortion, pro-murder rallies? Why is it the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb. Matt Gaetz literally looks like a thumb.
Right. That's the insult that's thrown against him a lot.
Yeah, he literally looks like that.
Weaponizing the insult against him. I get it.
Yes, and it's so gross what he said because, like, the week before, a 10-year-old rape victim was denied a legal abortion in her own state.
Right. They had to travel to another state, once again, crossing state lines.
Yeah.
So
to get medical care.
Raped
10.
At 10. She's a child. And then people are like, well, the child should be forced to have a child because that's just what God wants. I mean, that's a whole other argument. That's a whole other thing.
So I guess Matt Gaetz' thing is that the 10-year-old is then, she's really pretty, I guess would be his argument or something. You know, it's so gross. So then he does this whole like, you know, these women are 5'2", 350 pounds, and they're like, give me my abortion or I'll get up and march and protest. And then he said, a few of them need to get up and march. They need to get up and march like an hour a day, swing those arms, get the blood pumping, maybe mix in a salad. First of all, 1981 called and they want their jokes back, Matt Gaetz. Second, this creep fucking hates women. He hates them. He especially hates overweight women. And smart women. He hates smart women and he hates overweight women. And here's why. Like, and there's a lot of dudes like Matt Gaetz. It's the first thing they go to insult you. He used to be overweight. Pictures are on the internet. Dude used to be overweight. I'm not fat shaming. Like, dude, just be fat if you want to be fat. But he was probably told his whole life that he would be happy and his life would be perfect if he weren't fat. And I think a lot of us are told that, by the way. And now he's not fat. He's not happy. He's not loved. He's not respected. He's fucking gross. He looks like a thumb. He looks like Beavis and Butthead. Everybody hates him. So when he sees overweight women standing up for themselves, he thinks you're fat. You don't deserve human rights. You don't deserve anything. He thinks they're less than. He hates those women because they would not fuck him. Even these women who he thinks are gross and overweight, they will not fuck him. And it's the same reason all these creeps and losers hate AOC. They hate her because she hates them. She knows they're trash. And they can't fucking stand it. They're disgusting. And I just hate Matt Gaetz. So we're going to talk. The update to Matt Gaetz is actually tied to your non-creep. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get to it. We probably should take a break.
Yes.
But that is our creep, Matt Gaetz. Fuck this guy. Fuck him.
Okay, Sonia, do you want to hear about our non-creep?
Dude, I can't wait.
Well, he was at a rally this week, Turning Point USA Action Summit. Action Summit. And you look at the clips for this thing, and it's like just like any kind of like a supermodel event or like the Victoria's Secrets model show. Like they're just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Woo! Matt Gaetz, boo! And they all.
It's the best of the worst.
And Lauren Boebert. God,
yeah!
There's no such thing as separation of church and state. What? And it's right there in the Constitution.
There's
babe.
no pronouns in the Constitution. We the people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's no cross on the White House for a reason. There's no Ayatollah in charge for a reason. Anyway, they're up there. And all of them are being received like this. And of course, he has to go low. He has to be a pig.
Yes.
And he has to say, and be one of the women that was calling him out is a woman named Olivia Juliana. And she is with a group called Gen Z for Change. And she saw his fat phobic comments.
Yes.
And she challenged him on Twitter. And she said, he talked about you're 5'2" and you're 350 pounds and give me my abortions and all this stuff. She goes, actually, I'm 5'11", 6'4" in heels. I wear them so small men like you are reminded of your place. And his comments were raising the dander of his opponents. He retweeted and said, dander raised. She's 19 years old.
Yes.
And she decided that she's always been an activist. She's a queer Latina girl from a small town in Texas where she's always stood out. This is from Teen Vogue. She just did an interview today. And she started raising money, Gen Z for Change, which is an abortion rights activist. They've raised... In the time in the last week, they've raised $1.5 million. That's just amazing. The time we started recording. It was around 700,000 when we were talking about it at first. Yeah. She is a fucking dynamo. She's super smart. And they asked her, I'll read you a couple of answers. So what did you say when he was, first said what he was saying to you? And she said, it sounds crazy, but I laughed. I was like, this is going to be good. I knew I would be able to make the best out of the situation because that's what I do. It's my job. People hate me because I'm 19 and think I'm a doe-eyed kid, but I'm a political strategist for one of the biggest youth organizations in this country. This was almost like a gift from Matt Gaetz. This girl's so fucking smart. I mean...
Yeah. Gen Z is going to save us.
Gen Z, thank God. And then they said, how did you get the confidence to shut him down? I love this so much. I've never said this in an interview before, but I grew up obsessed with professional wrestling, WWE, and I truly believe that my comeback ability and my confidence in times of arguments or attacks 100% comes from years of watching WWE and scripted conflicts. And so she just really... uses that. And that's like, that gives her confidence. And she says, whenever someone resorts to body shaming in arguments because they can't intellectually or factually get their points across, he can't claim he's pro-life, pro-family, pro-child. But the reality is this is a sitting congressman who voted against increased funding for baby formula during a shortage. Mm-hmm. When it comes to helping families, it's not Matt Gaetz, it's me. This person is the person of our future. I also want to give a shout out to Liz Winstead of The Daily Show. She's the person who actually really created The Daily Show.
Yes.
A long time ago. She also helped create a radio network called Air America. She's a comedian, and she's with the Abortion Rights Network, and she's been doing that for several years, and she's putting on these shows called Bro v. Wade, where she's been getting men to help doing these comedy shows to help pay for women to get abortions because men are the people that get women pregnant.
Yes.
They're not getting it from their vibrators. They're not getting it from dildos. They're not getting it from their hands. It's from other men that are getting them pregnant.
Yes.
So that's the whole point. And I want to give a shout out to her as well, because these are the people that we need to be paying attention to.
Yes.
And not, Matt Gaetz, fuck this guy. Hopefully
seriously,
he's going to be gone real soon. But these are the women that let's just wipe the floor with him. He's such an asshole. Sonia, thank you so much for doing this. I know this was really hard.
No, this one was fun. I just got to sit here and write fucking jokes about Matt Gaetz. Fuck Matt Gaetz. He's been on the list for a long time. And I love that quote from Olivia because she's saying very eloquently what I was trying to say, which is when they can't argue with the facts, they immediately go for looks. And they talk about weight and you're ugly and you're fat and blah,
or
blah,
single.
Blah.
I mean, that's what I get a lot is, you, because I post a lot of pictures of my cats. Like, oh, you're just some lonely lady with your cats. Like, enjoy your couch with your TV and your cats. And I'm like, that's not sick burn you think it is.
No, seriously.
I'm living the dream.
Yeah, I've been getting it too. Like, you're going to be alone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm like, I do what the fuck I want. I'm like, I eat what I want. I watch what I want.
Yeah.
I do what I want.
I enjoy
I go on my
cats.
I go on my lonely single mom vacations where I do whatever the fuck I want and drink what I want, and
it's super awesome. Thank you, Sonia. That was excellent work. We'll be back next week with a new creep. If y'all have any suggestions, please reach out to us on all those social media places. We love it when you use the Annie Potts GIF. We got one from Ghostbusters. Also, once again, the email is whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. And if you like the sound of our voices, and by golly, why wouldn't you? Our voices are adorable. They're a goddamn delight. We host a show called Dorking Out, where we dork out about movies. We have a special guest this week. Her name is Mary Payne. She is from the Pink Shade podcast, and I adore Mary Payne. They talk about reality TV on Pink Shade, 90 Day Fiancé, lots of Bravo Housewives, all that good stuff. What are we going to be talking about with Mary Payne tomorrow?
We are going to be talking about She's Having a Baby, which I don't think I've seen since the theater, but this is one Mary really wants to talk about, so I'm really looking forward to hearing her thoughts about it. And this is one of those John Hughes grown-up movies. I'm going to put it in quotes. So I'm really excited for the rewatch and to hear her thoughts. And our episode that's out right now is Parenthood with Adam Risky from F This Movie. And Adam does an impression of Randy Newman that made me laugh so hard I cried.
It's a thing of beauty.
That's exactly the best way to describe it.
It was
so
fantastic.
Good. So good.
Once again, please reach out to us with your ideas for creeps and especially non-creeps. If you're interested, join our Facebook group. But once again, you do have to answer questions and you have to not be an asshole.
Yeah, if you show up and you're like, I like Ben Shapiro, we're going to kick you out. Just FYI.
There's just no point. Honestly, there's just no point. I mean, seriously. Okay, y'all. Sonia, where can they find you?
You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. Where can people find you, Margot?
You can find me at Brooklyn Fitchick for Twitter and Instagram. My site is brooklynfitchick.com. And at TikTok, I am at Margot Donahue. Everybody, stay safe, stay cool. Don't be a creep.
A creep!
Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.